Let's go.
We're Hasani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hasani.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are here for another great morning. Hope you're tuning in. Maybe from your bedroom, maybe you're in the car right now, maybe you are in the office, but wherever you're in, you're tuned in. I love it because we hear that there are certain couples that literally tune in, like there's a doctor. There's surgery he's performing. I don't know how he does it. He turns his mic off, he turns his video off, but he's attuned, performing surgery while listening to the Couples Academy Show.
Wow, that's, I don't know if I like that or not.
I don't know. Turn the music down just a little bit. I don't know, but I mean, that's the level of commitment that people have because they're looking to fill their minds, their hearts, and their spirits up with information that is transformational. Listen, we're in a series. We started it on Friday, the top 20 complaints that unhappy wives have about their husband. And we got to take the time to really unpack it because it's a real issue that people struggle with in their relationships. And so is it these women they're just not happy. They always got something to complain about. Or are there legitimate complaints that they actually have?
Oh, there's definitely legitimate complaints.
We're going to talk about that, but first, guys, we want to let you know that the Last Chance Weekend is coming up February the 11th through the 13th. It's Valentine's Day weekend, the day before the 14th. What an incredible way to kickstart, to reboot, to transform your relationship and take it to another place.
Why go into Valentine's Day angry? Come out on the other end and have, maybe it's the first Valentine's Day you've really, truly felt like you were celebrating in a long time.
I agree with you.
That's the possibility.
Why spend money on candy, on flowers, on a dinner, and be miserable, right? Throughout the whole process, it's empty, it's cold in your bedroom, in your relationship, and you sign up for more of the same. Or you can take your time, energy, and effort and invest it in the relationship to get not a diminishing return on your investment, but an increasing return on your investment because you're putting your money where your marriage is. That's the key. And when you do that, it's transformational. So anyway, it's coming up. We want you to watch this quick video for those of you who are hearing about this for the first time. And for those of you who have heard, pick up the phone. What you waiting for? We only have a few slots left, so get in while you can. Be right back. guys, that was the Last Chance Weekend. Do what you know you need to do. If you love your life, if you love your spouse, if you love your marriage, if you love your family, if you love the potential of what your future can be, make sure you register today. All right, listen, before we get started, we want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Get it out to the community so that they know that we are live and ready to engage in a conversation. We're talking about the top 20 complaints that these women have about these men.
Here we go.
So we want to get into it. If you want to know what the first 6 were, you got to go back one episode. Go to the Couples Academy YouTube channel and watch it. It's all up in there. But let's go to the next one. This is number 7. He always brings calorie bombs into the house. Now, I find this to be interesting because if you look at it statistically, women, generally speaking, take care of their health. They involve themselves in self-care a lot more than men do.
Well, that's very, very true. I am definitely guilty of bringing the calorie bombs in the house. And, you know, as the husband, sometimes we don't just sneak off and do it ourselves. We feel guilty about that. So we bring it into the house, and then that temptation gets flooded over into everybody else. We want to bring everybody else into our own guilt and shame.
And our wives are complaining because they're like, would you just eat healthier? Would you just cut down on this? Would you just? And it sounds like nagging and complaining, but in essence, what they're saying is, I want you to be healthy. Like when we were young, maybe we could afford to get away with just, splurging and engaging in habits that weren't the best for us. But as you get of age, right, it seems like we have to put a focus on our health because I want to live long life. Listen, would you rather live till you're 90 and you can run around and jog and wake up every morning and have a lease on life and have energy? Or would you rather live till 90, you're connected to machines, you're taking 8, 9, 12, 15 different pills, and you're on medications, and you got shots, and you're in a wheelchair? Like, it's not just about the longevity of one's life, it's about the quality of one's life. It's interesting, when I go to casinos and when I go to cruises, a lot of times you see people on crutches and wheelchairs, and they got bags next to them, and it's just like, man, you living long, but are you living strong?
Definitely. I am definitely one of the biggest, guiltiest people of that, and I've decided to work on that as my last year's mission. I've made it a true focus, and I think a lot more of us men really need to take that into consideration.
Absolutely. Let's go to the next one. And if you agree with this, we want you to chime in and hear from you. What are the things that you've been complaining about, women? Or what are the things that your wives have been complaining about that you've turned a deaf ear to and you haven't given consideration to, though on the inside there's probably some validity to what it is they're saying. Let's go to the next one. The credit card statement is always a surprise. Now, I think this speaks to the lack of financial alignment that couples have, where, we talk about infidelity because we're infidelity recovery specialists, but oftentimes there's something called financial infidelity, where couples are not in alignment and one is secretly using a credit card to make these purchases without their spouse knowing, or because one feels, well, I'm the main provider, I'm gonna make decisions. I don't need to come to you. I'm gonna just do what I do. And then maybe the spouse is the one paying the bills, and all of a sudden they see the statement like, what is this? What? And so it can lead to problems because she's thinking about security, she's thinking about the family, she's thinking about, the bills. Is everything gonna be paid on time? How are we gonna afford this? The interest rate is that. There's a lot that she's concerned with, and for some men, they haven't put enough value in financial stability.
Absolutely. And I think there's two sides to that coin, in all honesty, because you can see sometimes people are actually doing the right things with the money, but the other, the partner is scared. But definitely there's a lot of men who do splurge and go out there and do things that just don't make sense with their money because it's a form of sedation. It's like a lot of these habits, these bad habits that we see are a form of, men always talk about women in their retail therapy. Men have it too. We just buy different things. It might be tools, it might be TVs, it might be other sports memorabilia.
Sports cars.
Yes, there you go. And a lot of those things are unnecessary, but these are things that we're using to try to feel good about something else in our lives that we don't have control over.
I agree. So if that is you, listen, sometimes when she's coming at you, she's frustrated because she's just tired of the same old pattern again and again and again. She wants change. And at some point, brothers, At some point, men, you got to realize that men really determine the quality of the marriage. Pause. I want you to think about that. Men control the quality of the marriage. That doesn't rob women of their responsibility. That doesn't excuse their bad behavior, habits, idiosyncrasies, their stuff, which they do have, and women, y'all got stuff too. But men control the quality of the marriage. Would someone hashtag that? Because if you really sit and think about that, men, wow, that's right. Adam came first. He was the foundation of the family. There's a responsibility, there are duties, there's an obligation, there's vision that you're supposed to be given, there's insight that you have, there is an inner working that has been put in you by your creator that gives you a level of responsibility that impacts your family and your future. You control the quality of your marriage.
And on the opposite side of that coin, a chain is only strong as its weakest link. And so I am not by any, and I don't think Hasani is saying that the men or the women are the stronger species. It's literally
Didn't say that at all.
We control the quality of the relationship based on what we bring to the table. And we have to take that attitude. And actually, I think women need to take that attitude too, but we really have to really focus on we're the ones responsible. Because there's a lot of men these days who keep trying to jump on that, well, she has to do this and she has to do that bandwagon, but really we've always had to wear the mantle of the responsibility of it. Of course, we want our wives to step up and do and contribute and all those kinds of things too, but at the end of the day,
it's us, men, so
Yes.
let's get it together. Listen, you're watching the Couples Academy show. We will be right back in just a second.
If you're a man and you have a pulse, then you need to join this program. You're a husband, you're a father, you're a leader. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have to be everything for everyone, but do you know who and how to be for you? You're still in search of your own significance. You're in internal battle with your own vices. You're questioning, do I even know what it means to be a man? I know I'm supposed to be there for others, but what about me? The fact is, you need a model. You need a code to live by, a system of principles to govern your life. You need an internal compass to guide your every decision. You need the 4 securities to build your own kingdom. What you need is the Foundry. In short, a foundry is a facility where castings are produced by melting metal, pouring liquid metal into a mold, and then allowing it to solidify. Well, this is where we're testing the metal of men. Foundry is a 12-week men's-only coaching program. It is a brotherhood that will take each man through a purification process of the heart, mind, and soul. We here at Couples Academy promise you that if you give us 12 weeks of your life, you will no longer recognize it. If you care about the improving of your life, your marriage, and your family, register today.
That's right, that's the Foundry program, 12 weeks starting this Wednesday. We have gotten so many people who have registered, but we still have room for more. Wives are saying, I hope, I wish, I pray my husband can get in. How do I introduce it? How do I tell him? What is the, I don't know how to tell him. Just say, babe, there's a program out there. I think you need to consider it. Check this out. You want to know who the ones who are leading it? Watch this video. I think it's exactly what you need. If men are the foundation of the family. Think about a house, right? A foundation is the most important element. Before you can begin to build up, you have to build deep and wide. And whenever they're calculating how big or what the measurements of that foundation should be, they do all types of calculations. Well, how big is the house? How many rooms are there? Okay, how much furniture will be in there? How many people potentially can be there? They're determining the weight of all of this stuff to determine how, because if you have a house that's 18 tons with everything in it, I'm just making up a number, but the foundation can only withstand 10, well, guess what's going to happen?
It's going to fall apart.
That house is going to come tumbling down. So there's got to be a lot built into the DNA, the wiring, the development of that man to undergird the marriage and the family. So this is something you do not want to miss. It is 12 weeks, 3 months that can change and transform your life.
And it will. You got to think about it, like our lives as men, it's not the same anymore. You know, in the old days, centuries ago, we would go out with our fathers and learn a trade and learn how to become a man through the whole entire process. Nowadays, it's kind of like shake and bake. They put them through high school. We hope that high school raises our children properly. We expect the church to do it for us, but they're not always covering every single detail of financial or any of these other types of things that we need to know. We expect colleges and universities to do it, and they're not doing it either. They're not going and showing you how to, you know, think outside the box when you lose your job and start your own business or do anything that you need to do. We don't have the emotional support that's actually teaching us that emotions are safe and we can actually experience them and we can share with our wives. We have to hide everything and try to be tough. And all of these illusions that television has given us, and no one is satisfied. I run around the country all the time and I hear that men are just not satisfied. They are settling. And if you're tired of settling, if you really want to create the life that you've always dreamed of, or if you just want some security and surety that you can handle things, you don't have to sit in that depression. You don't have to stay in that midlife crisis. We have a way out.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the question just came in from Emily. Is the Foundry online? We are in Australia and I wish my husband could join. Yes, it is. It is a 12-week live group coaching program. All of the sessions will be recorded in case you can't make it. That will be Wednesdays, guys. Every single Wednesday, starting this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So wherever you are around the world, you can tune in live. If for any reason you cannot, if for any reason you have internet issues, whatever the problem is, understand that is one component. That is not the all. It is one component of this 12-week experience. We have our live group calls. We have, I don't know if you've ever heard of Marco Polo, but we have our daily accountability check-ins where we're connecting with the men when I say every single day for 12 weeks, for 3 months, holding accountable, coaching, speaking into their lives, that's what this is. So it's not just about a week group call. Hey, I missed it this week, I'll pick it up next week. Oh, no,
we don't do that. Look, if you're not gonna be there, don't even start. Because this is this is about changing your life. And if you can find 23 hours for the rest of the world and you can't find 1 hour for yourself, there's a problem.
There's a major problem. And just know, the men that we have in London, the men that we have in Africa, the men that we have in the United States and different parts of the world, they are committed, yet they're all responsible for showing up daily at a particular time based upon the hemisphere and time zone that they live in, and we hold them accountable, and we're walking through a growth process that will lead to transformation. I just want to give them just a nugget so that they could see what they're getting. There are 4 securities. We talk about the 4 foundational securities that every man has to have, and when he has it, it really helps to impact his marriage, his family, his business, his life in all areas. What are the 4? I don't need you to go deep, but just give them the 4.
Yeah, and they're in order: spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial.
Security.
Those are the 4 things you're looking for in life. And when you got those things down, if you could rate it from a 1 to 10, and you're an 8 to 10 in each of those categories, your wife ain't leaving you, your job's not letting you go because you're the strongest person on the block.
Now, most of us have lived a very one-dimensional life. So financially, we got it together, but spiritually, it's a wreck. Relationship is a wreck because we're public successes and private failures, right? What else is it? Physically, our bodies aren't where they need to be. Some of us are really big on physical fitness, but we're in the gym 24 hours a day, which means that we're not spending time working. We're not spending time with marriage and family. So something's missing. We have a one-dimensional approach, and we believe that you can have a have-it-all lifestyle by making sure that you're properly developed in all 4 areas, and when you are, life changes.
And the crazy part is, if you develop them in order, you will find order in your life. The problem is we're going outside in, so we start with all the problems outside of our house. We're trying to work our way out, but it starts with the spirit, then that manages our emotions manage our bodies. Everything that we do is working from the inside out as opposed to the outside in, because that gives us our own personal power and gives us the world that we can create as opposed to living by everyone else.
So I'm gonna tell you now, guys, you cannot go to the website. Don't go to couplesacademy.org. What you wanna do in the video is you just look, and it's just like I've said this 1,000 times. Look in the description of the video. You see all those links popping up to click on this and to click on that? There's a link called Foundry. Click it. It is its own website. You can register. It starts this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Every single Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time. That's one component of an entire process and system. There are books that we're going to be reading. There's assignments. There are challenges that we're going to be engaging in. All types of stuff. So click the link. You can register, okay, and get involved. We start in 2 days. We're still talking about the top 20 complaints of women, and how relevant is it to talk about this as we're entering men through a process to change their lives. We'll be right back. You're watching the Couples Academy Show. All right, guys, we're talking about top 10. We're going to hit a couple more before we end the show. Let's dive right in. Number 10, a little appreciation would be nice. I can't tell you how many women, when women get together in their own social space, they get to venting and they get to talking and they get to complaining about all the stuff that they're doing for their husband, and they don't even get appreciation. Here I am, I'm slaving for my children, I'm slaving for my husband. I feel like I got 3 kids, but now with my spouse, I got a 4th child. It's like they're another dependent because I'm doing everything. Like, my God, can I get a thank you?
This is I think the number one stressor, because it contributes to literally toppling all the other things that get suppressed. This builds up and builds up and builds up slowly over time, like simmering. It's at a simmer all the time. Mm-hmm. You didn't show me appreciation, and then it comes out like a volcano when the major event occurs. And we have a solution for you fellas. We know how to make sure, we have a method that we know works. We have a method that makes sure that you're actually showing appreciation in a very sincere way every single day. We have like physical bank accounts, right?
Right.
And what happens if you try to pull out money and you're insufficient funds, right?
It is. If there's not enough in there, yeah.
Yeah, and then if you spend too much on a check, they might cover it, but then there's going to be fees. And if you do that too much, what happens? They cancel your account.
Yes.
Well, men, our accounts are getting canceled.
That's what?
Because we have to understand that people have emotional bank accounts too. And if here's the thing about savings accounts. The whole goal is to deposit way more than you ever withdraw. And so, men, we're going to be teaching you how to make your daily deposits without making withdrawals, so that when that one life crisis comes through and you need that support from your wife, the one that you've been complaining about, she doesn't support me when I'm going through issues, it's because you're not depositing any money in the bank. Now, if I go to the bank and say, hey, man, I heard a joke the other day. He's like, these ATMs don't work. I keep going to all of them. They keep sending insufficient funds. No, it's not that the bank has insufficient funds. You have insufficient funds. And we got to start depositing into our lives of the people in our homes. We're going to start with the wives for the first 90 days. But then we're going to teach you how to do it with your children. And we go from the inside of the home out. Stop giving your time, fellas, to everyone in the outside world. Start giving it home first.
And I like how you said daily. Come on in. I like how you said daily deposits, right? And what's so powerful about that, we think because we do something one time, that's enough. No, it's got to be a daily consistent thing, and you've got to have you've got to have almost like, it's not mutually beneficial. Maybe your spouse is like a desert, right? They're dry, they're starving. You've got to deposit every single day. It's almost like if you had to water your lawn. Now, your lawn is dead, right? It's no longer green, it's brown. You can see the dirt, everything's forming. You've got to spend so much time daily, filling that lawn up with water so it turns from brown to green. But you want to be acknowledged the first day you water that lawn and think that the lawn should produce? No, it requires consistency over a long period of time.
I had one of my students actually said that.
Right.
They were like, I kept looking at the grass is greener on the other side, and thinking that if I went somewhere else, it was going to be better.
Right.
He said, I just needed to learn how to take care of my own lawn.
There it is. It's just that simple. And when you do that, stop waiting to be acknowledged. Stop waiting for them to say something. You need to be doing it consistently for a period of time, because they may not trust the first time you do it, because you've done it once before and then 3 months later, your actions disappeared. So your consistency is the key to your success. So take the time to acknowledge. Take the time to honor, take the time to appreciate, and not just the same statement every single morning, because now you sound like a robot. It's mechanical, it's not believable. We're gonna show you how to be artistic and to be creative, and how to demonstrate appreciation for your wife in a multitude of ways so that she receives it.
Using the account scenario again, as guys, we wanna put $1 in the account, we wanna put $10 in a deposit in the account, and we wanna be acknowledged for that. No, that's nothing to celebrate. Let the account build and have a big surprise, because when they actually see it build up, when it's 5,000, 10,000, whatever, a bigger number, when that can pay for the vacation, like I'm talking about emotionally pay for the vacation, like you need a break.
There it is.
That's going to pay for it.
When you do that, everything begins to change. All right, last one, guys. Here it is. He has to be taught basic life skills. Now, this, when we do intensives, I hear about this all the time. The dude don't cook. I'm telling on myself because I cook. I don't cook. I'm working on it. I can boil with the best. All right, I can make the bangingest cereal. I can make pancakes, right? I can do pancakes. I'm working on it, right?
Okay, so fellas, we're gonna have our own private manhood course. He needs to at least learn how to barbecue, right?
At least, right? So that's my deficit, the cooking. I can clean, though. Like some of you jokers don't clean.
He does do that.
I do that. I make sure doors are closed. Windows are sealed. Like, I make sure things are done. And so fundamentally, if you're going to be in a marriage, if you're going to be a husband, that's where the duties, the responsibilities, the obligations come into play. There's got to be a delegation of responsibility so it all doesn't fall on the wife. That's where she complains the most, in the area of domestic support. We want to be the head of our homes but don't want to participate in the management of it. It's crazy. So basic life skills: how to balance a check, right? How to pay a bill, all right? How to lock a door, how to fix something around the house. Just basic things that we need to be doing to help provide security, stability, and safety for our family. Period, point blank. I mean, we could spend a show just on that, but those are the things, men, that we're going to be covering in the FOUNDRY program. I'm excited because I'm going to learn how to cook after 45 years. I'm not
doing it, but guys, don't get this wrong. This is not a cooking show.
This is not a cooking show.
It's about building the quality and foundation that's going to allow you to articulate yourself in these ways and these manners in a way that actually feels good for you.
But you're going to be setting goals, and we're going to be stretching you. We're going to challenge you. Listen, there's some things we're going to pull out of you that you didn't even know what was in you. When you go back home after this 12-week program, your wives are not even going to recognize you. That's the goal. If you show up different, if you look different, if you talk different, if you walk different, then we have done our job. It's about new and different, brothers.
This is about setting what looks like impossible goals and achieving them in each of those 4 securities.
So listen, top 10, top 20 complaints that unhappy wives have. We will continue the conversation tomorrow. We love you. Tune in. Also, tune in tonight for Ask the Experts. See you then, guys. Take care.